Welcome back to the Survival Historian, where the frozen archives of human endurance reveal their most closely guarded secrets. Today we venture into one of Earth's most unforgiving theaters of survival, the Arctic, where temperatures plummet to 60 below zero, where darkness consumes half the year, and where a single mistake means death within hours. But here, in this crystalline wasteland, the Inuit people didn't just survive, they thrived. They engineered shelters so ingenious that inside their walls of ice and snow, they could strip down to their undergarments in comfort while outside the wind screamed at 70 miles per hour. They accomplished this feat without roaring fires, without billowing smoke to betray their position, and without succumbing to the silent killer of carbon monoxide poisoning. How? That's the story we're about to uncover. A masterclass in physics, materials science, and, well, human brilliance that really challenges everything modern survival teaches us about staying warm. The igloo, or more accurately, the igloo, meaning simply house in Inuktitut, represents one of humanity's most sophisticated architectural achievements, and it all begins with understanding what most would consider the enemy snow itself. But not just any snow, the Inuit sought out specific wind-packed snow compressed by Arctic gales into a dense, crystalline matrix. This wasn't the fluffy powder that blankets suburban lawns. This was kanik, snow transformed by wind into something, well, approaching the density of styrofoam containing up to 95% trapped air within its structure. Those microscopic air pockets created nature's perfect insulator, with thermal properties that honestly rival modern building materials. The construction process was itself a demonstration of applied physics. Working with a long snow knife, typically carved from bone or antler, builders cut blocks from snowdrifts in an upward spiral pattern, each block just slightly inward leaning. This created a self-supporting catenary dome, the same architectural principle behind the Roman pantheon's enduring strength. Every block bore weight equally across the structure, preventing collapse under tremendous snow loads and brutal Arctic winds. But the true genius emerged in what happened next, as body heat from inhabitants and the gentle warmth of the Quillic lamp radiated through the shelter. The innermost surface of those snow blocks would begin to melt ever so slightly. Within moments, the extreme cold outside would refreeze that moisture into a thin, glassy shell of ice, an airtight seal that eliminated drafts and transformed the porous snow walls into a crystalline fortress against the elements. The Igloo's thermal management system operated on principles of thermodynamics that would have impressed any modern engineer. The entrance tunnel, positioned below the main living floor and often bent at right angles, functioned as a cold trap. Dense, frigid air from outside would pour into this sunken vestibule and pool there like water, prevented from rising by its own weight. Meanwhile, the warm air generated inside remained trapped in the elevated living and sleeping areas, a natural convection current that required no mechanical systems, no energy input beyond the careful application of heat at the center of the dwelling. That heat source was the Quillic, and understanding this remarkable device unlocks the mystery of smokeless Arctic survival. Carved from soapstone into a crescent moon shape, the Quillic burned rendered seal or whale blubber, pure animal fat with an energy density rivaling petroleum. A carefully maintained wick, woven from dried moss or Arctic cotton grass, drew the liquid oil upward through capillary action. The flame itself was the result of masterful tending, almost exclusively women's work that required years to perfect, Too much wick exposed meant a smoky, inefficient flame that would fill the igloo with toxic fumes. Too little meant inadequate heat. The skilled operator would, constantly adjust the wick with a specialized stick, maintaining a clean blue-tinted flame that produced minimal smoke, mostly water vapor and carbon dioxide, in quantities the ventilation system could easily handle. That ventilation was deceptively simple yet, honestly, critically precise. A small hole, barely larger than a fist, was carved at the dome's apex. As warm, less dense air rose naturally through convection, it carried the minimal combustion byproducts with it, escaping into the Arctic night. Fresh, oxygen-rich air entered through gaps in the entrance tunnel near floor level, ensuring a constant circulation that prevented carbon monoxide buildup, the invisible killer that claims unprepared survivors even today. The temperature gradient was, honestly, pretty remarkable. Sleeping platforms that were elevated about 2 feet above the floor could reach as much as 65 degrees Fahrenheit, while the lower entrance stayed below freezing. This maintained that crucial cold trap. The igloo, offered tactical advantages that extended far beyond just providing warmth. In a landscape where smoke from a traditional fire could be seen for miles, easily betraying a camp's location to rival groups or even predators, the Quillick's almost smokeless operation provided really crucial concealment. The structure itself blended seamlessly into the snow-covered terrain, virtually invisible from even short distances. Unlike wood fires that consume resources and leave telltale char and ash, the Quillick operated on renewable resources, seal blubber obtained from the same hunting that provided food and clothing. A single lamp could burn for days on a modest fuel supply, and multiple lamps could be employed in larger structures housing extended families. The psychological dimensions of this technology deserve recognition as well. In an environment where everything seems hostile to human life, the ability to create a warm, illuminated space from the very materials trying to kill you represents a profound psychological victory. Inside the glowing amber light of the Quillick, with temperatures comfortable enough to work on intricate sewing or tool repair, the Arctic became not an enemy, but a provider. Its snow transformed into shelter, its sea mammals into heat and light. The Inuit's igloo technology teaches us that survival isn't always about fighting the environment. Sometimes it's about understanding it so completely that you can turn its own properties to your advantage. Modern applications, really echo these ancient principles. Emergency snow shelters still save lives in backcountry accidents, and architects studying passive heating often look to the igloo's convection-based temperature management. The lesson here transcends the specific technology. Survival honestly demands observation, experimentation, and the willingness to see possibilities where others see only obstacles. These weren't primitive people making do with limited options. These were sophisticated engineers who solved complex problems with elegant solutions that required no external energy, no complex manufacturing, and no materials beyond what the landscape provided. That's mastery. That's the kind of knowledge that doesn't just survive history, it defines it. If this deep dive into Arctic survival engineering has sparked your curiosity about how history's most challenging environments forged humanity's most brilliant adaptations, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Like this video, share it with anyone fascinated by the intersection of survival and innovation, and let me know in the comments what historical survival technique you want explored next. This is the survival historian, reminding you that the past isn't dead, it's teaching us how to survive the future.